Do you want to win your very own pre-ordered copy of Fire Emblem Three Houses? Well, now is your chance. You can get 5 entries into this giveaway by sharing this very video on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. That could be a total of 15 entries if you do it on all 3, but make sure to tag me so we can keep track of your entries. For an additional entry, make sure to like this video and comment. Also, share what you want to see in future giveaways. Fire Emblem Three Houses is on the horizon, and as such, I can't help but think what Three Houses needs to be successful. So, based on some things that have recently been revealed, let's talk about what Three Houses needs to be a good Fire Emblem game. Number 1, don't take the middle ground. Fire Emblem Three Houses needs to either be extremely open in its design or very restricted. It either needs to allow the player to make each unit in their army whatever they want and design the game around that, or limit characters to specific roles and classes. Both can work really well. Look at Fire Emblem Thracia 776. Units like Safi, Tina, and even Leaf have very specific jobs, and the game is designed around that. The restrictions add to the gameplay. On the other side of things, Fire Emblem Awakening has some of the most open-ended gameplay in the series. Again, the game is designed around that concept, treating the game less like a strategy RPG and more like a character building simulation. And it works for what it is. But some games like Echoes or Sacred Stones miss the mark because the player is given some choices as far as character progression, but most of those choices are irrelevant because it does not change gameplay all that much. Three Houses needs to avoid this middle ground. From what it looks like so far, Three Houses will be taking the extremely open approach to character design. Let's hope that the maps and general feel of the game is designed around that as well. Number 2, supports that matter to the story of the game. Now, this is purely personal preference. I would hate to see Awakening or Fate style supports, where most of them pretend like there isn't a war going on. They bake cakes and pies and big flowers and whatever the heck else they feel like doing that day. Never mind the fact that you were killing people and watching your friends fall in battle. Just ignore that completely and talk about your art hobby or your obsession with fashion. This is not to say that characters shouldn't acknowledge their own likes and dislikes to some extent, but some intermingling of the terrible situation that is war into their conversations would be nice. This could be particularly important in this story, being that these characters attend a war school, meaning that for many of them, they probably haven't seen much combat before the story begins. Number 3. The Avatar needs to be hated by more than just the enemies of the story. I can't express to you how much I disliked the fact that Corrin and to a lesser extent Robin could do no wrong. Everybody loved them after a single interaction. This may be due to Intelligence System's fear of making the player feel dejected, but if they take a risk and make Byleth hated by some people for a good reason, then it could really build his or her character and personality. The perfect example of this comes from Breath of the Wild. Link is the player's Link to the world of Hyrule. For all intents and purposes, the player is Link in regards to the story of Breath of the Wild. The most refreshing thing the game did was make it so some people actually hated Link. The Zora totally blamed the death of their champion Mipha on him. The first time I got there and the older members of the Zora were brutal and they didn't trust me and openly despised me, it gave me, as Link, a reason to move forward. It gave me someone to prove wrong. Now, I propose that Byleth initially be untrusted and ridiculed, but upon accomplishing some things, he wins people over. Some faster than others, of course. This could give the player a reason to play well. It would add to the personality and character of Byleth, and I honestly think it should be the route the story is taken. Number 4, Sothis needs to play an intricate role in the story outside of being a power-up to the player. At this point, it is confirmed that Sothis will be a companion character to Byleth, someone that only he can see and interact with. It is also confirmed that she will act as the Millis Turnbull of this game, allowing the player to rewind time. If the interactions with her amount to nothing more than fourth wall breaking, gameplay hints, and time manipulation, then I would rather she wasn't in the game at all. If she is integral to the story and gameplay, similar to how Midna acted in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, she could be a worthwhile addition to the cast. Midna not only accompanied Link on his journey, giving him advice and allowing him to transform into a wolf, she herself was the titular Twilight Princess. The story ultimately revolved around her banishment from the Twilight Realm and her return to power as the rightful ruler of the Land of Twilight. Sothis doesn't need to be exactly like that, but something akin to this would be a great service to the plot. Number 5. Adelgarde needs to play an important role for the entire story. This is working on the assumption that the story will not be separated into 3 different paths in the fashion of Fire Emblem Fates, but it'll be more like Fire Emblem Blazing Blade, where each character is present during the main story aside from the tutorial maps. In Blazing Blade, Lyn became so unimportant to the plot that she could have not existed and it would not have changed the story at all. This cannot happen to Adelgarde. Thus far, aside from Byleth and Sothis, she has been the most prominently shown character in trailers and pre-release content. She's already formed a pretty solid connection with the fanbase. Adelgarde needs to be important to the overall plot of Three Houses, or they will be doing her character a great disservice and it will disappoint many players. Well, that'll be all for today. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to share this video on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for your chance to win a pre-ordered copy of Fire Emblem Three Houses. We'll be announcing the winner at the end of Saturday's video, so that is only 6 days from now, so make sure to continue to watch every day this week for more opportunities to enter and get more entries in. The more entries you have in, the better chance that your name will pop out of the random number generator and you will win a copy of Three Houses. We're also gonna have a second and third place prize, which are probably just gonna be gift cards to GameStop, but we're not entirely sure yet. I'll let you know more about that in the next day or two, just to make sure we're solid on what we're doing. And we're doing everything legally, because apparently there's a lot of rules behind giveaways and stuff on YouTube, so I don't want to screw anything up. But anyways, make sure to share this video on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for your chance to win a copy of Fire Emblem Three Houses. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more Fire Emblem discussion.